Natasha. This is your host, Sharmark. Thank you for tuning into the Sharmark Show. And guess what? Be wise because tonight, it's about the man. It's about the man. And to discuss that, I mean, I love the energy. We have Melissa. Her government name is Melissa, but her stage name is Qpid. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm super
You look
fine.
fabulous. I'm loving
Thank
your
you.
earrings, the tone, the colors, everything.
Thank you
But
very much,
I'm
Shama.
always curious. I mean, like I've known you, but then why Cupid for a stage name?
It's a long story. To be
Oh, well,
honest,
I have time.
that name was given to me by a coworker. I worked at Qpid Wallace at the time, and I was releasing this song, and my producer called me. It was my very first time, very first song, and he was like, "Hey, the song that you did in the studio, we're gonna release it, but we need a name. We need a proper sobriquet. It cannot be Melissa Moses." So they was like, "Find a name, and then we're gonna call you back." So I was like asking all my coworkers, "Hey, I need a name. I'm going to be singing a song. I'm releasing a song. I need a name. I need a name. I need a name." And then my friend, she was like, "Well, everybody suggested something, and one friend of mine suggested Cupid, and I stuck with it.
Wow. And
Cupid.
actually, you brought the name to life because for a
Yes.
second, I thought it was your government name.
No,
Yeah.
actually, nah.
How did you get into the whole soca and groovy business?
Ah, accidentally. And that's the truth. I mean, I could fabricate a nice little story, but that'll just be a story. Nigel Nicholas, so he was my neighbor at the time, and he was looking for someone to do backups on a track. And he told me, Cupid, I know I hear you have a voice. I wasn't Cupid at the time, Melissa. I was told that you can sing, and I have a partner that have a studio, and we want someone to go and do some backups on some tracks that we have at the time. They were GOB, they were a group, and he brought me in studio, and yeah, that's it. Accidentally, when I was there, I did the backups, and they were playing a rhythm, and I started vibing helicopter. So that was the birth of helicopter.
Yes, yeah.
And that very same day, we went studio, we vibed the helicopter, and they end up making it into a song.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was never intentional, like for me to sing and even record a song. I just stayed back after. I did the backups, and everybody was vibing. Ninjaland was there as well. Curti, Nigel, King Gob, a whole group of them.
Wow.
I brought a friend along, and yeah, we stayed, we vibe. I did the helicopter thing. Curti, everybody put their little input, and it became a song. And they called me, I was like, "Hey, girl, we have you on the rhythm. We want you to sing the song."
And you
And
have grown on the rhythm. How many years have you been singing?
Shmaga, I don't want to say because I don't want people to look at me like, I'm a dinosaur. But I've
No,
been,
you're not a dinosaur. Trust me, with time, because guess what? When you're on this earth with time, we like
I'm
find that good
grateful.
wine.
Of course,
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to be aging like fine wine. But I've been doing it for a while. I started really young though.
Okay,
It was at
nice.
Cape Wallace I started, and I've been there for a long time, like over 20 years.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a lot. What
So
was the experience like over all those years? I mean, like, I've seen you, I've seen different performance, and I've really been impressed. Not because you're sitting here, I'm not afraid of you, if you know me.
I
I've
know.
really been impressed in
Yeah.
terms of your attire. It's almost like you always bring the song to life. So, what was the experience you really liked? Like, when Calypso coming, the season coming for Carnival, what was it like?
To be honest, what it's now is not what it was back then. So it has been different. The good thing about it is that I've learned to grow with it. The different experiences, the different unexpectations, the different challenges. But one thing I can tell you in general, it's always challenging. Um, at the beginning, it was less of a challenge because it was something new to St. Lucia. It was almost like a paradigm shift where we came from calypso being soca, what's being played on the road for
Yes.
carnival, to
Yeah.
us now creating that different vibe. It was just
Hmm.
soca music. And I was one of the few females. Nicole David was there. She was one that I admired greatly. May she rest in peace. And coming out, seeing her on stage and saying, "Hey, I want to do that." Even though I had released a song, I never really saw myself as a performer.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then I was like, I don't mind. I think I can do that. I don't mind doing that.
Yes.
And I came into that. For me, to be honest, it was like really easy compared to now. Now, for a young person coming into the music industry, it's a lot challenging because it's saturated. We have so many people, so many more genres. Everybody doing all kind of music. Back then, it was just calypso,
Yeah.
and now we have now embraced dancehall. We have embraced people singing our local singing R&B, just about any genre. So the market is a lot more saturated.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more
I
challenging
wouldn't.
now.
I think it's kind of interesting because guess what? Now you have different opportunities to try because even you realize, hey, I
Yes,
did 3 years of soca. Let me try groovy. Let me try
true.
dance second because you just don't know which one you'd get that big
In
hit with and you'd clock some
yeah,
cash, you know. But I think it can be expensive if you don't have a team behind you and if you don't know how to drive, because I guess you're talking about music videos, you're talking about
yes,
wardrobe, you're talking about makeup, especially for the
yes.
females. Even for the males, I mean, I just find sometimes in the past I was not watching local videos because two video one outfit and I had a problem with that. I need to see a change of wardrobe. And I think it was just a lot of people jumping behind the artists. And I
Yeah,
just find sometimes they could have tapped into the creativity. I know it can be expensive,
it
but
can
I think
be.
there's creative ways you can do things and make it look expensive. Yeah.
I think, like you said, the most important thing is having a team that do have your interest. Because a lot of times, again, I can speak so many different ways when I say it's challenging. Because you may have a team that you think that know what they're doing, but sometimes you have a team that is more lost than you, and it's not going to bring you anywhere. Because you meet
Yes.
people and they say, "Well, my manager," and it's like, "You have a manager."
I know.
Yes.
It's just
So
manage up a bush, but it
yes,
really doesn't play a role.
exactly. So having a good team, a team that know what they're about is one thing. I mean, finance is another. I mean, even being a female, I mean, I can go down a road, a very long road with that being a female artist, how much of a challenge it is. And I don't want to sound sexist by saying it is a lot more challenging for a female
Hmm.
than a male. Let's look at basic surface-based wardrobe. I mean, to come here, I mean, I had to find something really nice to put on me.
Yes,
And
because
like,
it's a Shamak show and it's Choice
yes,
TV.
and I'm a
Hello.
female, and the women they watch you, and
Yes.
we are highly judged by society. Unlike the men can wear the same black jeans at every event, nobody would even
I
notice.
will
You
trust me.
understand?
Yeah, the way
But
to a friend
we
you have to, yeah, you're wearing it 24/7. If a little
exactly
Febreze and you put that in the sun and it's good to
okay,
go. But
okay.
I guess
So
sometimes you know how you want to look. And I think for you as an artist, even as an individual, for me as an event planner, not all the time I want to dress up. But because it's Shamak, you have to dress up, especially for the TV show, you have to come up with a different outfit every
yes, and I have to
Friday.
come
And
a little,
sometimes it
you
takes
know.
a lot because
I
you have
know.
to go to the barber, you have to beat your face.
Yes.
But enough about that. What was one of the songs you had over the 20 years that really sing down and say, I love this song? Like you always think back at it and say, okay, I want to go back to this time.
Well, I actually have a song called YOLO that is not popular at all that I really love.
What's it?
YOLO, you only live once. YOLO, 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 YOLO. But I have quite a few songs that did not break or bust.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, these are the songs that I was a little more passionate about. But to answer that question, I would say Boss Lady.
What the boss ladies, let me see, put your hands in the air. Who's the boss? Who's the boss? Who's the boss? On mornings when I rise, I got to work. Who go boss on my brain? The struggle is really dead or joke. Who go boss on my brain? So come on up. Tell them I work hard. I work hard. I work hard. I work hard so now we let me shine. Hey, I someone lady. I someone lady. I someone lady.
Most of my songs, a lot of my songs, some of them, when I write, I don't always write on a personal mean that it's directly at me, but maybe things that's around me. So I write based on what's happening around me. Like, for instance, the song that we came, that song is really deep for me. I mean, when persons first heard this song, they thought it was talking about having a backup man, but it's not that at all. It's basically a song to help women elevate themselves when they do find themselves in a tumultuous relationship, wanting to get out and not having something to fall back on. So being in a relationship that is toxic, a lot of times women feel stuck because to them, that's what they know, and they don't plan, they have nothing else because coming into a relationship, it's you and that man, you give your all, but things don't always go as planned. That's why I say things don't always go as planned. So you need to start backing up whether it's you.
Something is going as planned. We have to go into commercial. I'll be right back. We need more on that man story because you see all my locks standing up by him, man. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Ladies, remember, I have Qpid here. And she's definitely going to give us more details about having a backup plan. I mean, what I like about the song, Melissa, I must tell you, Cupid, it has a double meaning. And if a song does not have a double meaning, it just falls flat. I'm like,
Okay.
when you think of growing up, I used to hear all these songs from Trinidad and stuff like that. And it's like, huh? you know, you feeling a little narrow-minded, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get older, you
Yeah.
understand what they're
Yes.
trying to say. So it's almost like you can use the music to send out a message out there.
True.
It can be a love
True.
message, it can be love language, it can so many messages, political, anything. And I
Yeah.
really like it. I like the beats and the message is nice. And I saw you did a little clip in a video and
And you
stuff
like
like
my
that.
vocals?
Yes, very nice. Yeah, I think the song has certain places where you bring up the vocals and you bring it
Yes.
down your tone. It
Yeah.
complements your tone. Would you
Yes.
like to introduce the video to us?
Yes, of course. Definitely want to introduce the video, guys. Backup plan. Your girl QQ. You must have a backup plan.
Be wise, think twice, take my advice. Real life. You could have one man, but just understand, anything could go wrong. Things don't always go as planned. So many years you give to this man. Look how fast he left you and gone. You crying, you're doing stupidness, cause you wasn't minding your business. He out there always with the next one. Gone with the right, you can't move around. You walk in, you look like stupidness, cause you wasn't minding your business. I don't care if you date with one man, but you must have a backup plan, girl. Lesson number one, never put all your trust in one man. Yes, you must have a backup plan, girl. In any situation, when the money come, make him give you some, hide it in the drum. You must have a backup plan. If you build a house, put it on your land. You must have a backup plan. Big woman, don't cry over man. You must have a backup plan. Join the gym, look sexy and strong. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. In any situation, everybody telling you about this man. Put your hand in fire, now you get burned. Defending you doing foolishness, cause you wasn't minding your business. He leave you and read, always giving sons. You sending them messages that so long. You stressing, you doing stupidness, cause you wasn't minding your business. I don't care if you date with one man, but you must have a backup plan, girl. Lesson number one, never put all your trust in one man. Yes, you must have a backup plan, girl. In any situation, when the money come, make him give you some, hide it in the drum. You must have a backup plan. If you build a house, put it on your land. You must have a backup plan. Big woman, don't cry over man. You must have a backup plan. Join the gym, look sexy and strong. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. In any situation, go on a nice vacation. Don't need no explanation. Find yourself a new man. Hey, you could have one man, but just understand, anything could go wrong. Things don't always go as planned. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup plan. Backup. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup plan. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup. You must have a backup plan. Backup plan. Backup. You must have a backup plan. Minding your business. I don't care if you date with one man, but you must have a backup plan, girl.
Boy.
Lesson number one, never put all your trust in one man. Yes, you must have a backup plan, girl. In any situation, when the money come, make him give you some, hide it in the drum. You must have a backup plan. If you build a house, put it on your land. You must have a backup plan. Big woman, don't cry over man. You must have a backup plan. Join the gym, look
Boys.
sexy and strong.
So just now, wait a minute. The song really has the vibes. I mean, the first time you played for me in my shop, my girl, I say, how is me? But today, I really feeling, I think, no, seriously, it grew on me.
Yeah.
So what's your backup plan? You're telling everybody
My
have a bunch of
my
backup
backup
plan.
plan is to always to just keep elevating myself.
And
To
my
be
girl, let
honest,
me tell you, don't just
I
put the house on the man land because the
not
mother
on his
can make you
land.
carry that
It's
if a
on my
tractor.
land. It's on my land.
Oh,
It's
okay,
on
all
my
right.
land.
Where,
No, but to
sister?
be honest, I mean, your backup plan could be anything. A lot of times we get
Yes,
into
your backup plan
relationship.
can be
It's
everything.
it's it's really up to you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like I said, we get into relationships and we get very complacent. We get not like
We
we
get
just
comfortable.
comfortable. We
It's
forget
almost like
about
the man grieving for them.
exactly.
They cannot do anything. Because
So you
sometimes the relationship become toxic and they don't
exactly.
want to live because how am I going to survive without him? So what is your but you need to. I mean, like I remember growing up, my mother used to say, call from my unipuni a secret account. Because one push come to shove, because sometimes they're saying yes, your partner have to know everything, but a little account, a little 10 cents on the
Sometimes he
side.
benefits from it as well.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you put things away, even our parents did that too. They would have a little stash aside there just in case.
Just in
But
case.
the song itself really speaks about a toxic relationship. So I'm not saying if you're there and you're cool with your partner, you just going on. But if you're in a relationship and you realize, okay, I'm really trying to make this work. You're driving up to the north and you realize, boom, there's traffic. You don't drive up north thinking, okay, I'm gonna pass the back road, but you realize there's traffic. You start making plans. Okay, I think I'll detour to the back road.
Yeah.
So that's what it speaks about basically. And your backup plan, regardless of what it is, should always be to elevate yourself. You're in this relationship, you've stressed out, you start gaining weight, start join the gym, start
Yeah.
making yourself look good. It might fix things in that very same relationship. You never know. But whatever it is, it has to help you build yourself so that you don't fall flat and you don't become toxic where you cannot let go. And a lot of times that is always the result of being in a relationship where you do not have any other thing on your mind but just that relationship, and it's difficult. So the backup plan does not only apply to the women. A man could have a backup plan as
I
well.
think they should because I think
Yeah.
some people don't have a backup plan. Like the men, they stick at their parents' home, and the women stick there. They're giving the people space. They're making the sofa make meal juice. Like I've had take your parley. So you have to have a backup plan and get out of the people's house. You need a backup plan because sometimes I just think it's so much. And I love the song. I think I see this song going very far.
Thank you.
I can see it at the fete, and it looks like a song that would not die with time. Sometimes some music can be just for the season, and after which it
Yes,
just dies
yes.
out. And then what I find your vocals actually match. What I find lately, I find sometimes I don't know how you'll call it the auto tune. Sometimes it's too much that when the
Yes.
person is actually singing a
Singing that is
cappella,
yes.
it sounds totally different.
Okay. Well, I mean, one thing I can say about myself, and I do admire my growth in terms of that's one thing I took serious. I remember when I just started singing, I never imagined being a singer. So it was basically going on a stage, taking a mic, shouting, and
Yeah.
calling it performing. And over the years, I've watched and myself grow. I mean, people tell it to me all the time, and I do see it in terms of my vocals. I really do pay attention to it and always try to sound on stage like how I sound in the recording.
I like that. This is very strong.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to go into commercial and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Send the show, my God. I need to tie up my hair. Ladies, you need to put on your dancing shoes. Guys, you need to get your dancing partner because here and the Sharmark show, we are going to release Qpid, give you a teaser of her Power Soca for 2026. It is huge, it is energetic, it's going mad. You need to be on drips for this one. Come on, just give it to us, Melissa, because whilst you're doing that, let me tie up my hair because hey, the cushions. Oh God, I love it. I love it.
I don't know what it must be, something they in the liquor. I hearing something talking, but it's from the speaker. Somebody throw a bucket of water. I feel love, I feel joy, plenty guys, feeling high. I don't know what it is, it must be something in the air. What? And it doesn't make you to jump, not to jump, and it doesn't make you to wine, and it doesn't make you to jump. And it doesn't make you why? Different man.
mad. Why? Show them how to get mad. Do anything.
Oh my God, St. Lucia, this is the ball. Woo!
Do anything that mad. It's getting hotter. So spending money don't matter. Security warning me. Move on the speaker. My pressure going up. I feel love. I feel joy. Plenty vibe. Feeling high. I don't know what it is. It must be something in the
Oh my God.
I can't wait, Sharmark. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Oh my God. St. Lucia, you have to look for that song on the road. Defeat Mad.
Mad.
It is, I love the energy.
Yes.
I just love the energy. I mean,
I
like,
feels yours, so
I love the, my
Take it
sister,
away,
after
Mills.
that all that madness, we have a token for me because you need more
Ah,
inspiration.
okay.
A little coconut punch from Abby's Exotic Blend. You know, when you getting a little inspiration to write this stuff. So make
okay.
sure you tag Abby.
All
You
right.
know? Tag her while the fed mad. At least
Thank
before they
you.
clock you in the
Thank you,
madhouse, my
Abby.
girl. You get a little snap. Because we can't have you on the road for the carnival, mashing up things in
Thank you, Abby. Thank you very much. Oh, I love planting trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But
Thank
we-
you for having me, Sharmark.
You
Definitely.
most welcome. No, actually I'm host, and I think the song I was not expecting it to be so nice, so I didn't even know how to react. And I just like, oh my God, the fat mad. So I me myself looking mad like I took that pill already because that's not like me on now. So
I
I'll
did
be on
not
my knees.
expect you to ask me to perform. If I
No,
knew I
but
was gonna perform,
that's
I'd
what
come
it is. I
dressed.
think when it's impromptu, it's a little better. You get that energy and to get put up the scene and sport. But I must
Okay.
say congratulations. I think this season is going to be mad. This is St. Lucia Carnival is growing.
Yes.
You need to put in the work to get the result. And St. Lucia, go
Thank
out and
you.
support.
Thank you.
Tag the song, love the song, use it as a ringtone, just use it in your videos and TikTok. We have to help to push our music out there because this is St. Lucia Carnival and this is St. Lucia. This is ours, creativity. Qpid, thank you so much for being here and don't be a stranger. Remember, the word for the weekend, defeat mad.
Mad.
And while you're getting mad, pas damage by moon because you got people as well. You might do what you they say get mad. So if you want to jump in now, but thank you so much.
You most welcome.
Love
Thank
you.
you as well.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you, Abby.
Hey, me girl, you
Yes.
get your dinner ready.
Thank-
Yes, pal.
What I get?
Your dinner.
Oh my God.
Wardrobe sponsored by Charmaine Freeman Designs.